welcome back to another episode of Spirits and Monsters of Old Seattle. When we left our brave investigators, they were beginning to make a plan. I mean, there's a first time for everything. We left them heading out of the beautiful seaside hotel and headed towards Tobias's cabin. However, they missed two important details. They did not notice the shape of Michelle Pazder sneaking away from the front door. And they did not notice the strange shadowy figure in the hills beyond town who was watching her and who raised up a lindenwood staff. We cut back to Michelle, who's wandering through the streets of Crescent Bay. She looks a little off. She's whispering quietly to herself. Yes, Master, of course. I don't know why I didn't think of it. The church. If we can just kill the priest. She turns and looks into a small fenced-in yard where a goat is eagerly grabbing the last few blades of grass that have risen up above the snow. She bows her head reverently to the creature and then whispers, "I promise I am living deliciously," before continuing her walk to the church. She fails to notice the thick storm clouds that have formed over the sea and begun to race into the village of Crescent Bay, dumping sleet and ice as they go. And she doesn't notice a shape rising up from the graveyard. Everyone, can I get a vigilance test?
All right, it begins.
Oh boy. That is a big old goose egg out of 4.
Ditto for me. 0 success on 4 dice.
I'm going to give physical dice a try here.
Okay, big money, no whammies. Big money, no whammies.
On would be 8 dice, but I have 1 mental condition, so on 7 dice, I have 1 success.
Hey, all right.
It's more than we've got in the last 2 checks.
That's a boy!
The three of you are just about to Tobias's cabin. You can hear this kind of thump in your ear as the pressure around you changes. There are dark clouds surging in rapidly from the sea. And Bill, Dr. Jensen, is just barely able to hear a scream.
Am I able to tell which direction it came from?
Mm-hmm. From the south of you, towards the direction of the church in town.
I will turn to my companions. Did either of you just hear a scream just now? I think it came from, they'll kind of point back towards town.
No, is it the beast or what?
No,
It sounded like a woman's
I
scream.
guess I'm going to take the liberty and assume it's a woman's scream. No, it sounded like a lady. Someone might be in trouble.
I'll grab the shotgun.
And Tobias will hurry back into the cabin and quickly come back out with a shotgun.
Mm-hmm. What are Dr. Jensen and Lucius going to do? Just kind of wait for him for a moment, or are they going to set off first?
Dr. Jensen and Lucius?
And Julian, I guess. Listen, I don't have a sticky note, okay? I'm normally better.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't be calling you out like that. You got a lot to. I mean, I'm waiting for
Tobias.
fuck now. Thank you. Boy, you just made all of the cue cards in my head just go blank there. Everything just went away. Just everything went away. But yeah, so I didn't hear anything. I'm kind of working my jaw while kind of massaging just below my ears, seeing if you mentioned the pressure kind of changed, trying to get my ears to pop, see if I can open up my hearing a little better.
Tobias absolutely feels this storm in his knees.
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
The old trick knees working up again.
Additionally, Zach,
Yes.
speaking of Tobias and an old ache,
Ooh.
his arm is killing him.
Oh dear.
As that pressure comes through,
All right.
those old, well, not that old scars, but those scars start just hurting.
Before leaving the cabin, he'll kind of brace himself against the door and try and just flex the fingers on the arm where the scars are and take a few deep calming breaths before opening the door and getting back into the weather.
As you open the door, I actually kind of put my hand out to try to keep it from closing. Wait. I know we need to go, but the nuts, the fruit, we need to make sure that we've got something in case we run into the Glosson.
Are there any of the Vatir around?
Yeah, there could be some nearby.
He'll pick up, get a little bit of the hard cheese he just keeps with him, put it down, and said,
Little folk, could you grab us some apples and nuts from the cellar? And we're going into town. I think there's danger, but we need your help.
They enthusiastically nod, grab the cheese, and then kind of take off out into the snow and back towards the hotel.
Okay.
You're pretty sure they will catch up with you as quickly as they can.
Probably. They haven't let him down before.
Now, one last quick check. I know that Tobias has a big heavy-duty fur coat. Has Dr. Jensen picked up a heavy coat since he's been here?
He does have my ratty old duster.
I think I still have your ratty old duster because I had left my jacket covering the
body.
I mean, you guys went back. You probably took your coat back.
Well, but if I covered the
it
body,
was soaked in blood.
Yeah,
it's covered in gore.
Oh,
so I'm probably.
I mean, this is stuff that happens to doctors.
Oh, Julian, if only you knew.
All
right. Can I get a force test from each of you? And Zach, feel free to take a +2 bonus from your big warm coat.
Oh, I shall. Thank you. Thank God I had that +2 on a total of 10 dice. I got 1 success.
All right.
I got 2 success on 7 dice.
And the good doctor?
So across 9 dice, 2 successes.
All right. You are all appropriately dressed, feeling active, keeping warm, and suffer no ill effects from the cold.
Huzzah.
Yay.
Despite the downpour of sleet, despite the heavy snows, you're all able to kind of truck along and are doing all right. However, in the distance ahead, you spot a little bit of steam in the air. And a shape that is slowly being covered in snow that is turning red.
Tobias will rush off towards the trudge into the snow towards the figure.
Mm-hmm.
I will quicken my pace after Tobias, but if I notice Tobias is beelining it towards the body, I'm going to follow him, but try and look around the peripherals just to see if there's basically to make sure that nothing might catch us by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm similarly thinking there, so I'm actually not going to rush up as I see the two of you move forward. I'm going to put my hand on my pistol, not drawing just yet, but I do want to be looking around for, somebody who might be holding, I don't know, some sort of like, if it happened to be made out of a linden wood, that might be. Just keeping my eyes open.
So Julian kind of scanning the area, making sure nothing's sneaking up on you. So the two of you get close enough that you are able to see the terrified face of Michelle Pasder. She has been split up the middle. And there is no sign of her entrails. Only a bloody, gory mess. Can I get a fear test from the two of you? Dr. Jensen, you get a +2 bonus since this is seeing a corpse.
Army medic.
I'm not going to lie. This was part of my strategy for staying a little further back. It's like, I'm going to let the doctor go deal with the freaky dead body.
It makes sense that Julian's learning, like, you know what? Maybe not go towards the red snow.
Yeah, no.
Big money. No whammy, no whammy.
Hannah's going to yell at you for talking while rolling dice into the microphone.
How dare you?
Nah, that's 0 successes on 3 dice.
Excellent.
So that would be 5 + 1 + 2, so 8 - 1, so 7 dice. I got 2 successes.
Okay. You have steeled your courage. You are stable in the face of this terrifying corpse. Not the first of many that you've seen. But you did over-succeed. So, I will give you a benefit. You may, if you'd like, remove one of your current mental conditions.
Thank you.
Tobias, unfortunately, is terrified.
He's stricken. He had a fondness for all the folks at the hotel.
The guests, yeah. So, Zach, because you have failed a mental test against fear, you get a mental condition.
Ooh.
Second, because you're terrified, you will act out your fear. And this can be one of 4 fear responses.
Oh my.
You can flee. You can faint. Brian can remember the other 2.
Ooh. Those are my favorites too.
Flee, faint, fight,
Finagle.
and freeze.
Freeze, thank you. So, you can freeze in place, you can faint away into the snow, you can just flee the scene, or you can begin fighting. As there is no enemy to fight, it would just be Tobias, destroying things in the area in a rage.
Yeah, it's gonna be that one.
Okay.
Love it.
And Tobias is going to take the frightened condition.
Excellent. So this feeling of helplessness, this feeling of just, these were guests who you were, in some ways, under the protection of. You were supposed to take care of them. And you have failed twice. And that smell in the air, that coppery smell of fresh blood, is so upsetting to Tobias.
Mm-hmm.
You grit your teeth until you hear a creaking in your ears and just start swinging the shotgun by the barrel, hitting it into trees, branches, things that are nearby, just creating a ruckus.
As he's just swinging the shotgun around Julian, Lucius, you hear this just low, guttural growl just emanating from his throat. Just incomprehensible, almost roaring.
Brian, real quick, we are in the graveyard of the church?
You are near to the graveyard of the church. You could see it from where you're at.
Near to the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Lucius will turn to Tobias. Tobias!
Why did she leave?
Tobias! And I'll try to essentially minding the business end of that shotgun.
Minding the gun in hand.
Try to grab you by the shoulders, get you just kind of focused up. Tobias, get a hold of yourself and kind of just see if I can jostle. I'm not going to resort to slapping him yet.
Well, that's
because he has a shotgun.
Yeah, I'll come up with you. I appreciate you, holding the gun back from me. That's very kind of you. But yeah, I'll just kind of go up to him as Dr. Jensen is kind of wrestling him for control and yelling at him. And I'll just kind of try to put a hand out, kind of put a hand on each shoulder, see if I can get him to kind of look into my face and just try to get him, focused on me, calm him down. I have I have the Bible with me. I will start quoting some scripture.
But probably at random, given Julian's knowledge of it.
I mean, he knows all the naughty bits. I don't know how well that's going to help in this situation, but it always made him feel better.
And then all this begatting happened, and it was great.
A passage from Revelations.
Oh, the beginning bits were always my favorite.
Oh, David, he begat. He begat all day long.
Oh, no.
So, Tobias, after a moment, you begin to hear, kind of feel like you're coming to your senses, and just like that moment of rage that came over you is slowly cooling off.
I'll actually look to Julian. Maybe take Tobias for a few steps away. Let me take a look at the body and see what I can. If there's anything I can tell what happened here.
Yeah, I will. Again, I've kind of got a hand on either shoulder. Hey, it's gonna be all right. Come on, Tobias, just take a few steps here with me.
Sorry,
You have nothing to apologize for. Your feelings are valid and matter. But let's just come with me.
No one's ever told me that before.
Really?
No.
You poor man.
My family was very stoic.
You poor... I just give you a big hug.
The original descriptor, bones thrown into a leather sack. You feel each and every one of those bones going stiff. Very uncomfortable with human touch.
Phoenix, imagine hugging a Slim Jim. Anyway, Dr. Jensen. Feel free to make an investigation test for me.
Sure thing.
You matter, Tobias. You matter.
I matter. I feel like all my trauma's gone away. Thank God.
You still got those conditions, though.
Oh, dang.
All but 2 of my cares have gone away.
2 of my traumas are gone away.
All right, so this will be 10 dice. Thank God for that the 10th dice. That is 1 success on 10 dice.
Hey.
All right. Dr. Jensen takes a moment to kind of survey the situation. You quickly pick up some key pieces of information. You are certain beyond a doubt that Michelle was obviously attacked by the Glosson. Based on the condition of the body, it has eaten her entrails, and it has grown in power.
That's not good.
You know it came from the graveyard.
And that's what I'm worried about, particularly
However,
if...
it didn't go back there. Based on the trails and a few speckles of blood, you can see it moving outside of town and heading for the hills.
I want to check the body to see if there's anything on there that might tell us what she was doing out here. However, it is in snow and a storm is coming in. I will look over to Tobias and Julian, and if they are looking more kind of gathered, I will call out, Tobias, if if you're able to come closer, I think I found the trail of where the Glosson left. I might need your help tracking it further.
Yeah, Tobias will inch back over towards the body, very, very cautiously.
Yeah, I'll kind of make an effort to like direct him or direct focus of what the things I see pointing away to try and see if that'll help him discern where this creature's going.
I am going to rummage through my pack, and I'm going to hand you the camera as well as the map book, both of which will give bonuses for investigation and learning.
Does it kind of look like it's heading out of town towards the cave?
You're not certain if it's headed towards the cave, but it is headed in a northeastern kind of direction. Like it's headed into kind of the scrubland and hills that are further out past the town.
Well,
while Tobias, I guess, is checking for the path, could I check out the body to see if there's any paper, notebooks, something that like I could tell what she was doing out here? Because it's honestly a surprise to see her out of her room, let alone outside in front of the church.
I'll even give this one to you from your successful investigation earlier. There are no papers or books on her person. However, in one of the pockets of her dress, you do find a knife.
Kind of like a normal knife, like a knife you'd see.
Oh,
like,
hell no. This is like a crazy ritual dagger.
Okay.
It is a black steel blade with what almost looks like a serpent pattern on a small crossguard. And as you're kind of pulling this knife out, you hear a voice from over near the church. You there! What are you three doing? What was that screaming I heard?
Does Tobias recognize the person?
Oh, absolutely. That is the church's chaplain, Alexander Kravitz.
Mr. Kravitz, there's been a murder. Please, don't come any closer.
A murder? What? Tobias? What are you doing out here? And he puts on a very broad-brimmed hat and is bundled up in a coat and is walking in your direction.
It's one of the guests of the hotel. This is doctor. The doctor.
As if Father, Reverend, which
Chaplain.
Chaplain. Okay, sorry. So as the chaplain's moving closer, I will actually kind of follow Tobias, like up. Chaplain, please, just hold up. This is an extremely disturbing scene. I would not recommend you approach this any further.
I will, as Dr. Jensen is saying this, I'm going to go ahead and kind of interpose myself there, kind of put, I'm doing a lot of touching today, but I'm going to go ahead and just kind of put my hands up.
Different than usual, how?
You know, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead, kind of put my hands up on the chaplain and just try to hold him back a little bit. But I do want to attempt, if I may, I'm not trying to pickpocket, but I'm going to like kind of press up a little bit close and see if I can feel anything that might seem like a, length of wood. Yeah, I know. I heard it too.
Metal and staff in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
You just have it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're searching the priest's pocket for something
For wood.
long and firm.
That's it, folks. Podcast over.
See, I didn't even need to say it. I got y'all.
You know what? Not even the worst thing Julian's done.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. It's how he roll. All right. I'm not even going to have you make any kind of test for that one. There is nothing that would qualify as a staff on his person.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, listener, you can't see it, but I just killed 2 out of 3 party members.
Maybe it's a growing staff and not a showing staff.
Now the podcast is done. Aaron, come back. We need you.
Oh,
We need you badly on the show.
Oh, no.
All right.
Okay. So the chaplain Kravitz.
Yep. Chaplain Alexander Kravitz is being briefly restrained from seeing this terrible sight by the ever impeccable Julian Benavides. He briefly kind of scowls his very, very bushy brows at you. Young man, what is happening here? I heard screaming.
Yes, as you just heard, it seems as though you know Tobias.
Indeed.
Yeah, well, as the man just mentioned, there seems to be a murder that has occurred here. I just wanted to spare your holy eyes from the trauma that has been beset upon our own visual senses here.
A murder? In Crescent Bay? What? That's inconceivable.
Oh, it's conceivable. You can conceive right over there, but it's not pretty.
And he kind of looks over Julian's shoulder at this point and audibly gasps. Oh no. And sir, what is that knife you're holding?
Shit.
He briefly takes a step back. Tobias, what is the meaning of this?
She's a guest at the hotel, Mr. Kravitz, and the knife was on her.
Yes, Chaplain, please. As Tobias said, I am a doctor. When I examined he'll kind of, without even trying to turn over, just brief motion, the corpse, I found this on her person. So, something here is not right. Do you have anything that we might be able to cover the body for? We don't want anyone else stumbling upon this.
Yes, of course. Give me just a moment. I have a tarp. We can temporarily put her in a mausoleum.
Thank you, Chaplain.
For anyone who would like to, you may roll an observation test.
Absolutely.
Now, before you all start getting dice happy, I have been reminded, if you fail an observation test, the character will learn something about you.
It's fine. I'm an open book.
That's right. Observation's one of those empathy skills. Ooh, never mind.
And Tobias is in no state to notice things.
Be doing anything, yeah.
Use rational thought.
That for Julian is 3 success on 9 dice.
Ooh.
Heck yeah. All right, well, that is definitely going to be enough. I don't believe Julian has any conditions right now.
Not yet.
Well, you certainly don't need to push him for that. So, Phoenix, I tell you what, with 3 successes more than you need, can you think of a way that your observant nature might be able to help one of your colleagues, in addition to the information you will get about the good chaplain?
May I ask what I'm seeing before I give you?
Yep,
a
absolutely.
response to that? Okay.
And we can also put it in the pocket for later, and you can take a bonus on a roll.
Okay.
However, the chaplain looked disturbed at the suggestion that there was a murder in Crescent Bay. But he looked horrified when he saw what happened to Michelle. Not horrified because of the awfulness of the act, horrified because of familiarity. He recognized something about this.
Okay. Knowing that, so in terms of trying to help my group here, does Dr. Jensen have any conditions right now?
Not at the moment, no.
Oh. Okay.
Zach's hoarding them all.
Who's got 2 thumbs and 2 conditions? It's this guy.
Okay. how can I spin this for you? Um,
Is it possible for this to clear a condition, Game Master?
I'm considering allowing him to clear a condition if he can figure out a good spin for it.
Could notice the state that Tobias is in. Sorry if I'm leading.
well, I mean, sorry. So yeah, I mean, I definitely do notice the state that you're in. What I'm trying to figure out is a way of communicating this to you in a way that would seem like helpful.
You notice he's rubbing the bicep of one of his arms like a lot.
Okay. Here's what I'll do. So, having seen the chaplain's reaction and the recognition of this body, I will first kind of looking towards Dr. Jensen and trying to be a little bit subtle, not to catch the attention of the chaplain. I'm just going to kind of mouth the words and kind of point to the body and the chaplain. He knows her. And then looking over to Tobias and seeing how rattled he is, what I'll say is, Tobias, I can see that this has been hard for you. I know you're very protective of the guests at the hotel, and I know this must be hard. I believe the chaplain also knew our victim here, and I can understand how both of you would be sharing that grief right now. Because your feelings matter. Both of you.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. Zach, if you want to clear a condition from that, I'll be generous this time.
Absolutely.
Much obliged, GM.
Silver tongue bar.
Yeah. You see, Tobias, it's been a very long time since anyone has paid any sort of attention to Tobias. He just kind of usually does his thing without people noticing. Like, the only people have been, like, Catherine, who runs the hotel. Like, she kind of took him in. And so having someone actually, like, giving a shit about him is definitely new and
A foreign concept to him a bit.
foreign concept, but definitely not unwelcome. You see him.
My God, man. Zach, if you keep this up, I'm going to end up adopting Tobias.
Hey man, I'm just living that toxic masculine life out here. It's the 1800s. Hopping wasn't invented yet.
Dr. Jensen cheers with his flask.
Yeah, you see him noticeably, like, breathing starts to even out. He's able to get, like, deeper breaths in, and the almost compulsive rubbing that he's has on his arm is slowing down. He says,
Thank you, Julian. The hotel's a home to me. I just don't want anything to happen to it.
I can understand that. I'm well acquainted with tragedy at home and certainly wouldn't wish that upon anybody. Chaplain, how did you know?
He has actually left to
he's
get
gone.
a tarp. Yeah. So he had, like, taken off back into the church.
Chaplain!
He returns after a few moments with a tarp. This kind of oiled tarp that he helps to wrap around the body. And presuming all of you are willing to lend some assistance, it can be brought into the graveyard. And inside of one of the mausoleums, there is space on a bier that a body could be left.
As we are doing so, I will just go ahead and point blank. We appreciate your helping us with this. How did you know Miss Michelle, Chaplain?
Is that her name? I've never met this woman before.
I raise a well-groomed eyebrow very skeptically at him.
seen her from across the town when she and those other artists were leaving to paint, but I haven't met her previously. None of them have ever come in for mass or for confession.
With the observation that I did earlier, does that did I get that this was just a he recognizes, or this is somebody that he,
or does he recognize what happened to her, not maybe her herself?
Bill got it. So you kind of quickly put two and two together from the way that he's acting. That recognition wasn't for her. That's what befell her.
I see.
Yeah, Dr. Jensen will all of a sudden be like, oh, and he'll look at the knife going, this is not the knife of someone you go to see a chaplain with and to visit. And then he'll look to Julian and the chaplain and go, okay, you don't know her, but do you know what happened to her?
I think we should discuss indoors, out of the cold, and away from this gruesome scene.
Quick question here, Brian. Just a small logistics question.
Mm-hmm.
Have the Vatir caught up with us to provide us the apple and nuts?
They have not yet.
Okay. Never mind.
Are we heading to the chapel?
Yeah, I'd say let's head to the church. Lucius wouldn't be like, let's talk about this here, but given that the
in a frozen graveyard.
Yeah, the grave sow likes to hang out in graveyards. It might not be here now, but yeah, that's probably not a good idea.
And just before Tobias gets inside, he feels a little tug at the bottom of his coat. And looking down are a half dozen Vatir, who are holding some kind of small winter apples and a bunch of nuts. We found these.
Thank you, small folk. You too kind.
He pulls out another...
The last little bit of cheese from the pocket.
Last little bit of cheese. Hands it over to him.
I don't have any more, but I'll make sure to have some for you when I get back.
They thank you profusely, and the group of them kind of run away from this scene.
He gathers up the nuts and apples and stuffs them in
pockets.
Pockets, yeah. Filthy, disgusting, copious pockets.
Mm-hmm. May I grab a couple of them as well?
He offers up one of the pockets.
Thanks. So with this, Brian, one of the questions I was going to ask with that is, I'm sure we don't have an unlimited amount of apple and nuts here. If I am attempting to use these for distraction purposes, how many doses of distraction do we have between us here?
Tell you what, let me roll a die. All right, I got great news for you. It was a good harvest season this year, so you've got 3 distractions worth of apples and nuts.
Love it.
So, Zach, feel free to mark down 2. Phoenix, you can mark down 1 unless you want to spread them out to the good doctor.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Tobias will offer up one of his filthy pockets as well to you.
Just right before you walk into church, this grizzled old man's like, "Son, reach into my pockets and find apples and nuts."
Oh, no.
I am noting in my inventory distraction nuts
And apples.
How do you like D's apple?
Thank you.
And D's nuts.
God damn it.
Well played, Bill. Well played.
I am going to chop you in half with a grave sow.
Oh, no. Oh, no, I come on the podcast and I'm ruining it already. No.
You would have to work a lot harder to ruin this, Zach. That's what we do. We're fucking professionals.
Oh, thank God.
All right, so now armed with distraction fruit and veg, fruit and legumes, you head inside the chapel. There is a small, modest kitchen, and while you have taken a brief moment to be distracted by Vatir, the chaplain has gotten a kettle going. So, What is it that has brought you all to Crescent Bay? I've never seen anything like this here.
A vacation.
Lucius will actually chuckle. He will actually laugh at the vacation answer.
I'm sorry you've arrived at a terrible time.
Yeah. It seems a incredible coincidence. It's almost as if fate decreed this would happen when we came.
Dr. Jensen and Julian here are staying at the hotel, along with Miss Pastor. Or she was.
But I can certainly say, Chaplain, that we do not commonly see a body split in twain like that. You appear to have seen this before. What's going on in this town?
I'm so glad you're the one talking to him, Bill.
Why?
Can I get a manipulation test?
Oh, fuck my life. I'm just gonna shut up. Okay.
Please never do. It's always, great when you actually crush these things. Or, I'm throwing this out there, you can invest some points in manipulation one of these days.
But why?
Then we wouldn't have any fun.
Oh, boy. All right.
I will let you take a +1 Julian bonus.
I was going to ask if I get a +1 because of everyone's here.
Because of distraction nuts.
God damn it.
Well, on a grand total of 3 dice, 0 success.
Would you like to push that roll?
Yes.
Can I push Dr. Jensen out of the way?
That'll be a new talent. After a character fails a social roll, Julian steps in and makes one.
Can I just tag in, just high five Julian and he steps in it? I got 1 success on 3 dice.
Hey! So what condition is Dr. Jensen going to pick up?
He's going to be a little angry because he's cold. He just had to move a body.
Again.
And now we have a priest that's just not, or chaplain, sorry.
It's not being forthcoming.
Yeah. Who appears to want to hide the perpetrator of these dismemberments. We know it's a grave sow. We know someone has to control it with a lindenwood staff. But now 2 people have died, presumably by this thing. And now sounds like more if the chaplain has seen this. So, yeah. Lucius is not happy that someone's just letting, especially a man of a cloth, someone that's supposed to be looking out for the people, is just letting this happen.
And he kind of hems and haws at first, and Dr. Jensen just throws that at him. How could a man of the cloth who's supposed to protect these people let this keep happening? You know something, spill it.
He gets a little self-righteous with it. Ironically.
And that seems to hit the right note with this guy. His bald head goes very red, and he stammers and stutters for a moment. And he kind of looks around the room, which, by the way, as he has been making this tea and you guys have been having kind of a quiet chat, a bunch of animals have kind of been wandering through. There's at least 4 cats that are in here. And you notice a collie sprawled out on a little bed in the corner.
I thought you were talking woodland critters, like his doors were just open to the wilds.
Disney princess style.
Deer, rabbits.
That was my first instinct there as well.
No, pets.
Gotcha.
Cats, dogs. He also has... Let me check my notes.
Yeah, this is 100% Phoenix and maybe a little less Julian, but I am definitely going to pet the collie.
Oh, 100%. Actually, no, that's also on brand for Julian because he's pet every dog he's met.
I mean, you gotta know if you can pet the dog.
And you can. Always. Over in the room that is off to the side, that he's clearly used as a small study, you hear a cawing. And after he gets kind of a drumming down from Dr. Jensen, Alexander says, just hold on a moment, please. Just a moment. And he gets up and walks to that study. And you hear some rummaging around. And then some annoyed cawing. And you see a crow fly into the room. Which perches up on a hat rack. As Alexander Kravitz comes back with a number of books.
Somewhere Sophie perks up.
Somewhere in Norway. What? I believe the town of Crescent Bay is afflicted by a curse. I have, as a hobby, done quite a bit of reading into local legend, folklore. I've heard of stories, of creatures, of monsters that walk the night. I also think perhaps from the corner of my eye, I might have seen one in our graveyard. A creature called the Night Sow. It's said that it is capable of splitting a person in half and consuming them from the inside.
Chaplain, when did you see it?
A few nights ago, I thought. I believe this creature has been sent here from hell itself to punish Crescent Bay for its sins.
Looking at the books that he brought out, like what type of books do these seem to be?
It's a little bit of a mix. Julian definitely recognizes a couple of titles that he's seen in the library. Some on occultism, some on witchcraft, some on folklore. But a few of them are ones that he hasn't seen before. Probably much more local things to the area. And at least a few of them are handwritten ones.
You speak of this night sow. Did you read about it?
Yes, in one of these, I believe.
Well, then, Chaplain, you realize this is not a creature sent from hell. This is a person. They've been cursed. We need to find the person controlling them.
I haven't read about that in any of my books. Curse, you say?
Yes, this person has been afflicted. This was done to them. They have no control. They are being... Their will has been taken away by somebody wielding a staff that is capable of controlling them.
A staff.
I don't suppose you've seen, by any chance, anybody strolling with a staff made of... You've heard of lindenwood?
We have a few linden trees out in this area. Perhaps someone might make a staff of that. I have read in my books that the Glosson is a creature in league with witches. I've heard it has been sent by rival witches to steal another witch's power. I can't say I've seen witches wandering around with staves, let alone staves made of linden.
I don't know if Dr. Jensen would know this, but it was Dr. Jensen who made the...
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
So, I'll ask, Dr. Jensen, when you were recalling what you knew of the Glosson, if the person who was cursed were freed of that curse, would they retain the magical power they had consumed as a Glosson?
I'll be honest, I'm not sure. I don't think they would retain the power. Well, not all of it, at least. They would definitely have the sight. They'd be able to see Vossen after.
And you're having that conversation where the chaplain can hear? Or just kind of like quietly between yourselves?
Yeah, I would more like whisper this, kind of just like...
Sort of like an aside.
Yeah. But Lucius will kind of look to Tobias. We had the 4 guests. Was there anyone else? Did the 4 seem to create any friction with anyone else, either in the building or in town that you might have noticed?
Well, no one likes the hotel. I'm begging your pardon, Chaplain, but beyond the general animosity, we've just had the 4 guests this winter, and been myself, and, well, until recently, Miss Catherine and Lisa, and that's been it. So...
Alexander kind of shakes his head a little bit. Well, I won't say anything ill about Miss Catherine. I believe, in my heart of hearts, that any person who loves animals as much as she does has a place in God's kingdom. She loved that little dog of hers. If someone loves a dog, they have to be a good person. That's facts.
No lies detected.
I read that in one of my books.
Father, you had said that you fear the town was cursed and paying for their sins. I'm assuming the sin is the...
I don't want to speak ill of Miss Catherine when she's missing, and something may have happened to her, but... Well, as Tobias said, the hotel is not a popular place with the locals.
Is there anyone in town that might have been particularly angry or mad at Catherine or the hotel?
Oh. Well, yes. Our lighthouse keeper, Magnus London, he has taken it quite personally about the hotel. Last summer, Tobias, you might remember this, he did have that little incident where he tried to burn it down.
Son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I did put in a good word for him. He's the only lighthouse keeper we have, and if he's not keeping ships off the rocks, well, our only option other than that is to hope that the Hillman protects us.
Sorry, Brian, if I can recall, he just mentioned Magnus, who obviously we met.
Mm-hmm.
Magnus was carrying a walking stick.
He sure was.
Son of a bitch.
I don't suppose I know botany well enough. Would I have recognized that now that I'm thinking of it as...
Feel free to give me a learning test.
Cool. I love learning. No, that is 0 success on 3 dice.
I feel like if I see Julian trying to recall, I'll be like, hold on, like, deep breath, and he'll hand him his flask to take a try and clear his...
Have you tried jogging your memory?
Drunken recall, it's a thing.
Yeah, but that's for remembering things while you were drunk at the time.
Yeah, I know. I'm stretching here to do a toast to friends.
Oh, all right. Very well. Julian. It's only when Dr. Jensen kind of shakes that flask at you that you remember Madame Luz had a beautiful lindenwood banister put in on the 2nd floor. And that looked exactly like that walking stick that he had. The wood was the exact same color, the exact same grain. Absolutely.
Knew that guy was trouble. I will... I don't know if you caught me as the player going, just son of a bitch in the background,
but I absolutely did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Julian does the exact same thing and is just like from out of nowhere grabs a nip off of the flask. Son of a bitch.
Language, sir. You're at a house of the Lord.
I completely ignore the chaplain and I'm looking at Tobias and actually mostly Dr. Jensen at this point. We picked him up. You remember the lighthouse keeper, Magnus. He said he was walking to get kerosene for the lighthouse?
Yes, of course.
The walking stick. It was lindenwood.
Son of a bitch.
That's what I said.
You all need to stop cursing in the Lord's house.
This is the house of the Lord.
Quiet, Chaplain. Tobias, do you know how to get to
Oh, I love it.
Do you know how to get to the lighthouse?
It is literally the tallest building around town. It's not that hard to find. But yeah.
Well, more the pathway to it, I guess, the most direct route.
Again.
Yes. Okay. Fine.
Can we look in the map book that I brought along?
Mm-hmm.
And I am curious to know the lay of the land near the lighthouse. I mean, obviously, it's going to be out over the water.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, what is around it on the land side of things?
I am ever so glad that you asked.
Oh boy.
You've world built all of this, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Is it some murder traps?
Oh, it's
Some
always
deathly spike pits.
it's always murder traps.
Oh boy.
All right, so Phoenix, take a look in Discord.
Okay, so we are on a long peninsula here. Lighthouse is at the very tip of it. Okay. All right. And it looks like it is, like in the approach, it is not particularly close to woods or anything that. Okay.
No, it's sort of just on like the bare tip of this peninsula.
Yes, a little past Josephine's Lust Cave.
I'm sorry, what?
Mm-hmm.
It's your map.
Yeah, Josephine's Lust Cave, which is right next to the puppy cave.
And just north of the Troll's Hole.
Troll's Hole. Yeah.
I stand by my statement. What? Didn't look at those until I posted them.
Ignoring the extremely phallic nature of this peninsula, I would like to direct your attention first to starting at the base of Maiden Hills as we ascend up to Deep Dale, Skull Hill, and then the Troll's Hole, followed by Josephine's Lust Cave.
Listeners, send help. I need an adult.
Oh Lord.
You almost have a labia cave on the left there as well.
Well, you know, it's a good thing our podcast has never been monetized because we'd already be demonetized now. Listener, I brought this on myself for not reading the map before I shared it. This is my fault.
Lahibia Cave. Anyway,
Dr. Jensen, the quickest way to the lighthouse is a straight line. Just walk towards it.
And you know from the maps that you took a look at from the Coven that the Rooting Cave is about halfway up. So kind of in the middle of the peninsula. And it's sort of hidden by all this scrub brush that makes it difficult to find.
Mm-hmm.
There's a narrow walking path that leads down into it.
Was it before we get to the puppy cave? Or
yeah, it would be before the puppy cave.
Okay.
Should we go? I've never done this before. Should we go get him? How do you do this?
I think we need to make our way there as quickly as possible to see if we can. We need to break the staff to stop the curse. So, if nothing else, we need to confront him and try and get that staff away from him.
Is there anywhere, Tobias? We met him on our way up here. He was traveling to pick up some kerosene. I don't suppose you have spare supplies of kerosene available, do you?
Well, we've been running low, and Tobias gives you a significant look that he tries to hide, but he's not good at this. Trying to indicate that the Vatir have been helping with their low supply since Miss Catherine has left, but not a significant amount. We can't set the lighthouse on fire. We do still need that.
No, pardon. Oh, well, that's actually a really, pardon. Not where I was going with that.
Alexander looks between the three of you in shock. Set what?
Not right now, Chaplain.
Sorry. I don't know. Should we have this conversation here or?
I just think it might be a good idea to maybe drop by and bring some supplies.
Again, we do still need the lighthouse, even if Magnus is a bastard.
I think...
Sorry, Chaplain.
Language.
Julian's idea here is to come like we found a surplus and we know that he is in short supply. That might get us in the door a little earlier.
Okay.
If he'll kind of look to Julian, if I understood you correctly.
I mean, I kind of like where Tobias was going, but yes, that was my initial intent.
Okay. Well, we don't have a lot of kerosene left, but we do have some empty canisters, and we could fill it with well water.
Sounds like a great plan.
Beautiful.
Am I getting good at this?
Do you all think Magnus is somehow involved in this action?
Oh, are you still here? Pardon.
It's my church.
Chaplain, we'll need you to just make sure you take care of the body. We want to make sure that it's preserved and we can get it back to the proper authorities.
Yeah.
I'd also recommend staying indoors with the grave sow out.
So it's real then?
We don't know if it's real, but...
It is.
Didn't want to take chances.
I thought we were pretty sure about it too. I'm sorry.
Do you? Boy, here I'm just gonna have to ask the question. We do believe this is a real situation, a real potential threat that you have here. Chaplain, do you have nuts in your kitchen or the cellar?
I have some cheeses. I have a ham. Do you need food for the journey?
No, but should you encounter this, Glosson, throwing a handful of nuts may give you the time to distract it and hopefully get away.
I see.
Do not confuse this with sowing wild oats. They must be nuts or perhaps apples.
I can see what we have in town. It is the winter, so our supplies are somewhat limited.
I very well may live to regret this or may not live to regret it. But if he is saying like he doesn't have any of this and is like considering a trek into town, I hand over my pocket of distraction nuts.
Bless you. If there is anything I can do to help you, please let me know.
Well, if I ever need blessings, I will be sure to call upon you.
You're trying to protect this town, aren't you?
Kind of look to the two of you. I suppose we are.
I mean, this is as much a home as anywhere is meant to be.
We just don't want this to happen to any more people.
Thank you. I will keep the townsfolk from finding out what happened to that young woman until whatever needs to happen is dealt with.
Should you ever find yourself in Ballard, feel free to drop by. We have I suppose you could call it a headquarters of sorts known as the library.
That's the town that's outside of Seattle, isn't it?
That's the one, Father. Not Father, Chaplain. Your chaplainy reverence-ness. Ask for Sophie.
Oh, I haven't been down that way since my boat landed. That was a rather rough town. I still remember what Magnus said after his trip there. He described it as an ungodly place.
Home is what you make of it.
Well, between the two of us, or between the four of us, as it were, he mentioned it was also a place quite filled with houses of ill repute.
Hold on, how would he know that?
Well, I believe he said they advertised. He said carriages of women would parade about during the day, speaking about some recently opened bordello.
Oh, Chaplain, it's not just women.
Should we go to the lighthouse?
Yeah, I think that's probably the best idea. We need to try and stop this curse, this grave salve, as soon as we can.
Yes. Let's leave the chaplain. Be safe, Chaplain.
I'll let you know when the danger's past, Mr. Kravitz.
He nods. All right, and so you head out?
Mm-hmm.
Once we are out of earshot, Tobias, I don't suppose... Perhaps I'm being overly paranoid with this. Is there any sort of a sporting goods or a hunting shop in town?
We have a general store.
Like a hardware store, yeah.
But nothing so specialized as that. We're still rather small town.
Brian, what are the chances I might be able to find a rifle in such a general store?
Pretty good.
Do we want something maybe with a little bit of additional range if we are going to be finding ourselves confronting a man who is potentially cursed and possessing somebody?
I suppose it couldn't hurt.
Yeah, I think that might, as best as we can be prepared. Hopefully we can get to the staff as quickly as possible, but yeah, I'd rather have something and not need it than need it and not have it.
Yeah. What time of day is it, Brian?
By this point, we're getting towards like mid-afternoon.
Do we want to do this in the morning? If the night sow rests during the day, would it be better to go introduce ourselves in the morning?
But it just attacked.
It did.
It did.
I think the storm might be. If it only comes out during the night, maybe the storm makes it think it's night. I don't know how smart these things are.
And again, Dr. Jensen had crushed it on that learning test. The night sow prefers to be active in the night, but can be active during the day. It just must be compelled to with the summoner's will.
Either way, we should probably move before the storm.
Yes, let's go see if we can pick up some weaponry.
Let's say, do we want to tell the other members of her party?
Oh, that's a good call.
Are you guys gonna split up? That idea has never gone badly for anyone.
I'll tell you what, I'm happy to go on my own to the hardware store if you want to go ahead and check on the sisters. The coven.
Oh, do we really want to split up?
I mean, I do like to live dangerously.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. I will go with Dr. Jensen to go tell the guests.
Perfect. So we're going to follow the pair of you first. You trek through this cold, miserable weather. The sound of snow is falling everywhere. There's the occasional crack as something is hit by a bit of sleet and frozen ice. It is a miserable time to be outside. But you trek your way back and reach the hotel. As soon as you head inside, Lisa rushes to the door. Oh, this is terrible weather to be out. Are you both all right? What are you doing out in that storm?
Lisa, it's not safe out there. No matter what, don't go out until we come back.
Oh, all right. What's going on?
Tobias is going to look to you for guidance, Dr. Jensen.
There's been another incident in town.
An incident? Like what happened to Miss Catherine?
She doesn't know about Olga.
What about Olga?
Oh, no.
Tobias is going to kind of like gently lead Lisa aside a bit and going to kind of tell her what's going on, that there's been 2 murders in town.
She shrieks.
You just
Murders?
stay inside. Yes, but if you stay
Tobias, what's happening?
me and the doctor and Mr. Benavides, we're going to figure it out, but you just need to stay inside and keep the other guests, keep the other 2 ladies inside.
Keep the guests inside, okay. I could do that. Do I need to barricade the doors? Do you think whatever's murdering people got Miss Catherine? Oh no.
I don't know, but we'll figure it out. Lisa, don't worry.
Lisa walks almost in a daze over to the bar, gets a mid-shelf bottle of brown liquor, and pours like 3 fingers for herself.
No. Dr. Jensen will come over, like, move those to the side. He'll reach up and grab the good, put it down. Just remember...
Tobias will take the cheap stuff. And
just remember, stay inside. That is in this hotel is the safest place you can be.
Inside. Got it. Stay inside. I can do that. Yes. Away from the murders. Yes. And she knocks back the liquor. Inside. I can do that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go tend to the fires here and make sure that everything is okay. And she kind of walks away slightly mechanically.
That could have gone better.
Oh, she'll be fine.
We sent our 2 highest empathy characters to deal with this situation.
No, she'll be fine. She just give her some time. It's a shock to everyone to hear the first time. Let's go see with the other guests.
So you head upstairs. Does Dr. Jensen or Tobias knock on the room door again?
Tobias will.
Okay. After you rap a couple of times, there's a brief pause, and then Clara pulls open the door. Why, hello.
Miss Berg.
There's almost an almost audible, oh, right.
Oh, right, indeed. Come in, gentlemen.
Yes.
Tobias will sheepishly shuffle into the room.
Have the 2 of you seen, Michelle?
Miss Adler, we have news. Miss Pasder, it seems she's befallen the same fate as Olga. I'm so sorry.
And the 2 of them share a brief, stunned silence. Josephine kind of puts one trembling hand to her mouth. Clara just kind of winces and shakes her head. Clara takes a little glass of port that was at the table, raises it to Josephine, and then says, "We have lost a member of our coven. There are now only 2 sisters of Satan." And she knocks it back in a dramatic pull.
Lucius will cock an eyebrow to the daughters of Satan.
Sisters of Satan.
Sisters, sorry, sisters. Have I mentioned I'm terrible with names?
It's come up once or twice, I think.
Please, ladies, stay inside tonight. The doctor, Mr. Benavides, and myself we're going to deal with it, but it's safest for you inside until we're back.
Josephine looks to the 2 of you. We had heard Michelle whispering to herself. I don't remember what she was saying exactly, but she had a habit of doing that.
Right.
And then Clara kind of looks at you. We all were promised different things by Olga. I believe that she promised Michelle communion with the devil himself. She thought he heard his whispers.
Whoa.
It's interesting you mention that. Is that what she might be using, and he will pull out the dagger, this for? Trying to commune with the devil?
The two of them exchange a look. She didn't handle stressful situations well. If she thought that someone was speaking to her, maybe someone who was ordering her to do something, well, she probably would have done it.
Well, he'll just kind of pause for a second. I would say let this be a lesson to you both, and please stay within the hotel until we finish our business here. Or you might be unfortunate and reach the same fate as your friend.
They both nod very seriously. All right, we're going to cut over to Julian. There is a small hardware store. It is mostly fishing gear. There's canned foods. There's definitely some hunting equipment, though. There are a few rifles, some shot. Definitely enough that Julian could easily supply himself with.
Okay. So I was looking through the equipment earlier, so if I can, I would like to try to find, and even with all of my money, I might not be able to afford all of this. We'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But I was looking for a crowbar, binoculars, and ideally 3 rifles.
That is a bigger ask.
That is a lot.
Yep. Feel free to make a test with your wealth.
So this is rolling resources?
Yep.
All right. Well,
Oh,
that's
no.
0 successes on 8 dice.
No! What can't money buy?
Apparently, all the things you need in a
Actually,
small
hold up.
town.
May I add my "Don't you know who I am" advantage?
Hey.
You absolutely may. Feel free to throw 2 more on that.
Well, it's 1 success.
Okay. Now, I have good news and I have bad news.
Mm-hmm.
Julian doesn't carry tons of cash on him.
Yeah,
That would be gauche. But everybody in Seattle knows who Julian is, and so he has easy access to lines of credit.
Mm.
However, out here in the sticks, it's a little tougher. So he's able to kind of reference a few things about his lines of credit, about this, about that. And he's got a little spending power here. But as always, money talks.
Mm-hmm.
The bad news is you only got 1 success on all your dice. The good news is you can spend capital to count as extra successes. Now, that said, you are looking at a lot of expensive gear.
Yes.
A crowbar is going to require 2 successes. Binoculars are going to require 2 successes. A rifle and shot is going to require 4 successes.
Okay, let's do so. Between my 1 success but my 7 remaining capital, I should be able to get
Either 2 rifles or a rifle, binoculars, and a crowbar.
let's do that.
Okay. Now, Phoenix, as Julian is making these purchases, the shop owner is very happy to work with him on this. He's getting stuff rung up, but you feel a sense of vertigo wash over you. Feel a sense of uncomfortable shifting in your stomach and behind your eyes. Can you make a vigilance test for me?
Okay. Oh man, that's another one of those logic skills.
Mm-hmm.
Boo. 2 success on 4 dice.
Dang.
Okay.
Someone's rolling hot.
Nice.
So this feeling washes over you. And you realize something. This is someone trying to affect you with magic.
No, sir, I don't like it.
However, this isn't Julian's first rodeo. Julian has been affected by far stronger practitioners than this. And he's able to push through this feeling of his vision twisting. And he sees something. And the change falls out of his hands as he realizes what he's seeing. For the briefest of moments, Julian saw the shopkeeper, his eyes gleaming red, tusks emerging from his mouth like a pig. But that was just what he wanted you to see. You push through that, and you see him, Magnus London, striding down a hallway, laughing to himself as a woman dies. And your stomach falls as you think about him talking about places that he's been in Seattle. Dirty, terrible bordellos. And you realize something awful. The last vision you saw from Rose of a bearded man is now perfectly crystal clear in your memory. And it's Magnus London. But we'll get to what happens next on our next episode.
Ah.
Come
on.
Thank you, dear listener. I think shit's about to go wild. And I cannot wait for you to see what happens next.
Oh, man.
Have a good one. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Spirits and Monsters of Old Seattle. Our theme song is Myths and Legends by Robert Bruckmeyer and is playing right now. Our episode music is from the incredible Andreas Lundstrom's RPG soundtracks, and you can hear more of his work on the Sweden Rolls podcast. Our editor is Hannah Cheney. If you've enjoyed the show, it would mean the world to all of us if you could share it with a friend. Or an acquaintance, a stranger, even an enemy. We're not super picky. However, it is the single best way to help us get new listeners and continue to grow. If you've really enjoyed the show and you want to let the world know just how much, we're launching a storefront where you can buy some cool gear and a Patreon. You'll find the links in our show notes. We'll be looking forward to sharing more stories of the Vossen in the Pacific Northwest. But until then, remember the motto of the library. Fear gives way to knowledge. Knowledge gives way to wisdom. And wisdom gives way to the truth. Until next time.